Welcome to the first video in our three-part series on acing data analyst interviews. In this segment, we'll be focusing on SQL-related questions. Don't forget to check out the subsequent videos on Tableau and HR topics to get a holistic understanding of the interview process. Number 1. What is the difference between inner join and left join in SQL? Interviewers often ask this to gauge your knowledge of how tables can be interconnected in a relational database. Here's an answer you can use. An inner join retrieves rows from both tables that satisfy the condition, eliminating rows that don't match. A left join retrieves all rows from the left table and the matching rows from the right table. If there's no match, the result will contain null. Number 2. Explain the use of the group by clause in SQL. This tests your ability to aggregate data, a vital operation for data analysis. Here's a response for you to consider. The group by clause groups rows with the same values in specified columns. It's often used with aggregate functions like count, sum, average, AVG, etc., to group the results set by one or more columns. Number 3. What is the difference between where and having clause? This gauges your grasp of filtering data before and after aggregating. Here, consider this reply. The where clause filters rows before they're grouped, while the having clause filters rows after they've been grouped. Number 4. Explain normalization and its importance in SQL. Understanding how data is structured in databases is essential. Here's an approach to answer that. Normalization is the process of organizing data to reduce redundancy and ensure data integrity. Its primary purpose is to add, delete, and modify data without causing data anomalies. Number 5. What is a stored procedure in SQL? Stored procedures are crucial for automating and optimizing multiple query processes. Here's what you might want to say. A stored procedure is a prepared SQL code that can be saved and reused. Instead of writing the SQL command every time, you can simply call the stored procedure. This can also accept parameters, allowing dynamic query execution. Number 6. How would you explain the difference between a function and a stored procedure? Differentiating these two can help gauge a deeper understanding of SQL. Here's the recommended reply. Functions must return a value, but stored procedures don't have to. Procedures can modify server state while functions can't. Functions can be used in SQL statements, but procedures cannot. Number 7. What are indexes and why are they important in SQL? Understanding of indexes indicates knowledge of query optimization. Here's a fitting reply for you. Indexes enhance database performance by enabling faster retrieval of data from a table. They work similarly to an index in a book, providing a lookup, which directly corresponds to the location of the data. Number 8. What is SQL injection and how can it be prevented? SQL injection is a major security concern, and understanding it showcases a candidate's awareness of database vulnerabilities. Here's what I would suggest. SQL injection is a code injection technique used to attack data-driven applications. Attackers can insert malicious SQL code into input fields for execution, often to gain unauthorized access. To prevent it, always use parameterized queries or prepared statements, validate and sanitize user inputs, and employ web application firewalls. Number 9. What are views in SQL and why are they used? This assesses knowledge on creating virtual tables to safeguard data or simplify queries. Here's a way you could respond. A view is a virtual table that does not store data physically but shows data derived from one or more tables. They are used for security purposes to restrict access to specific data and to make complex queries simpler by encapsulating them into a view. Number 10. How would you find duplicate values in a table? This query checks practical problem-solving skills with SQL. Here's a way you could respond. You can use the group by clause combined with having to find duplicates. Number 11. What's the difference between a primary key and a unique constraint? Understanding keys and constraints is pivotal for ensuring data integrity. Here, consider this reply. Both ensure uniqueness in a column. However, a table can have only one primary key, but multiple unique constraints. Also, primary keys automatically create a clustered index, while unique constraints create a non-clustered index by default. Number 12. Describe a situation when you would use a union over a join. This probes into the candidate's skill in choosing the best SQL operations for specific tasks. Here's an approach to answer that. Union is used to combine the results of two or more select statements without returning any duplicate rows. Join is used to combine rows from two or more tables based on a related column. If you need to retrieve data from tables without any relational columns, using union would be more appropriate. Number 13. Explain the difference between CHAR and VARCHAR data types. This dives into the specifics of data storage and optimization. Here's what you might say in reply. CHAR is a fixed-length character data type, meaning it will always use the space allocated, padding with spaces if necessary. VARCHAR is a variable-length character data type, using only the necessary space plus a small overhead. If the size of the data entry is consistent, CHAR might be more efficient, but if the sizes vary considerably, VARCHAR would be a better choice. Number 14. What is a cursor, and why is it used in SQL? This tests the knowledge of more advanced database operations. Here is an option for your response. A cursor is a temporary work area created in system memory when a SQL statement is executed. It allows row-by-row processing of the result set. They are useful when we need to update records in a database table in a singleton fashion or in a row-by-row manner. Number 15. How do you handle transaction management in SQL? This is about ensuring data integrity during operations. Here's a suggested response for your consideration. Transaction management ensures that a series of operations are successful. If one operation fails, all will be rolled back. In SQL, we use commands like begin transaction, commit, and rollback to manage transactions. Thank you for watching this video on SQL interview questions. To prepare further, be sure to check out our next videos in this series, focusing on Tableau and HR-related questions. Together, these videos will give you a comprehensive overview of what to expect in data analyst interviews. If you have more questions, need further insights on the topics discussed, or have suggestions for future video topics, please drop them in the comments. I'll be sure to address them. Best of luck with your preparation.